Hello. Hi. Hello. It is me. Hi, hello. 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 I'm sleepy, but feeling very cozy right now. Hey lads, it's me, the local virtual baker, Saltea Kichee. Hi. Hello. Ah. It's cold outside. Do you know what that means? I think it's a proper time for soup, honestly. I'm not sure how you lot feel when it's cold outside, but it's real cold outside for me right now, and I am hungry. But I also kind of feel very lazy. So lazy I don't feel like chewing. Well, chewing too intensively, I guess is the right word. So I actually was thinking, like, you know what, I want some soup and some stew, amongst other things and stuff and whatnot. So yes, that is the thought and stuff for today. Yeah. Sorry, I am just a wee bit sleepy. But hopefully once I'm on my feet, I'll be able to be ready and able to do the things today, yes? Yes. And especially with yesterday too, with me having all that bread left over as well, all that sourdough, it's just like, the stars are aligning for me to make soup really, so yeah. The brain is just moving at like 1 mile, 1 mile. 1 mile a day. It's just, brain is kind of slow. Oh, I feel a little sleepy. So yeah. Yeah, I hope you guys have been having a great day so far. I don't have any written down notes to talk about today, so hee ha. It is just a day of just brain being drained. So, yeah. It's like yesterday in a sense, and like, oh, we're just casually doing stuff and thing. Same thing over here. Today, we are doing casual stuff and things. I am just cooking. I am just cooking instead of baking today, so yeah. I hope you'll be able to have a nice little cozy time with me as I make some very nice, homely, cozy sort of soup food. Okay, well, I have nothing else to talk about, and I'm quite hungry, and I want to jump right into that kitchen. So here we go. Hi, here we are. Okay, let me just move. Okay, I think we are ready to go at this point. I have not all the ingredients for. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Real quick, mic check. Oh my god. Ugh. I'm assuming. Oh, cool with my apartment right now. Can't wait to start cooking right now because that is gonna make things a little bit more warmer around here. So yeah. Sorry, I have to calibrate myself again. Okay, I think we're ready to go now. Alrighty, well, let's make some stuff. So, how's the weather? How are you guys doing? Hope you guys have been having a great, luscious Saturday. I hope you've been having a nice day from rest from work and all that. You know, I just hope you're having a generally good day, you know. Hope today hasn't been too hard on you. I hope you've had a nice, lovely day, all things considered. And for those little things that have happened today, hopefully me making some soup can help you forget, I guess? Yeah, sure, that works. But I am going to be making 3 kinds of soups, and just like yesterday, but more so heavily today, I don't plan on streaming too long today. I just want to make soup. Maybe that's it. And then I probably must do other things such as going to go sleep. So that is my plan for today, lads. I actually, unlike yesterday, I actually need to put on my apron because it's gonna get quite messy in here. I would feel at least. Hold on, I got a jacket. I might. Wow. It is indeed working. Okay. So, I am going to be making 3 things today. I'm going to make a cream of mushroom soup, a tomato bisque, and then a beef bourguignon. So I'm going to be making a lot of fun soup today. I wish I was making like chicken noodle soup. That would be really nice and fun to make. But I don't feel like having chicken noodle soup, honestly. I just had some I had some, what is it? Some chicken and, what is it called? Cream of chicken soup, and that was quite nice. But I'm already kind of tuckered out when it comes to, chicken soups, I suppose. So, I thought, like, hey, you know what? Why not do some, what is it? Do some, beef bourguignon. I'm actually going to start doing that first because it's a very weird soup. Well, it's not even really soup. It's more of a stew, more or less. But how you do it... Oh, I gotta get this stuff into a bowl now. Come on. Don't be shy. This is your destiny. Okay, cool. I am a little upset just because I like to be pedantic and do semantics, and we're like, oh, I need it this way and all that whatnot. But what is it? I wanted to buy like a whole chunk of beef just because it's better to do that. I like trying to, you know, get all the steps in between and not actually do the whatchamacallit, getting like pre-cut stuff and whatnot. But unfortunately, I had to just suck it up and just buy the pre-cut stuff. Not out of a choice, I will admit. Hold on, I gotta... There we go. Not out of a choice, I will admit, but just because this was a lot cheaper versus what the latter option was, which was like an excruciating amount of money. There we go. What is an excruciating amount of money, one might ask? Well, for instance, the cubed up beef I got, but at a fairly nice price of $12, so not terrible, not too shabby. So I'd rather pay $12 versus, what is it, $35? So, there are things to be said on that front, but I will leave that how that is for now. I do not feel like talking about that. But yes. Beef bourguignon. A very nice and delicious French sort of French stew, I believe. I like to have it with like pasta. Oh, not pasta. Well, I think it's best with Pommes puree or something like that. Just like a nice, good mash of some sorts. It is actually quite brisk in here. Oof. Anyways, I'm gonna start doing some basic prep because the bourguignon needs a few things. For one thing, it needs a carrot, and then it needs mushrooms and needs onion cut and all that whatnot. So yeah, this is pretty much a stew after all. And I wish I could save some of these carrots, but I don't really have anything to make stock right now, so it just kind of... It would kind of just be a waste of space, unfortunately. So yeah, I hope you lads have been having a grand day so far. My day has been very strange, to say at the very least. It's been one of those days where it's like, hey, it was a pretty good day with an asterisk, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna really talk too much about it at all, just because it's I kind of feel like it bogs down a little bit. So I'm not gonna really talk too much about it. Just, semantics. Kitchen drama, if you will. Oh, jeez. Like, there isn't enough drama in the Vtuber community, so let me just talk about some kitchen drama too. Right? Anyways. Yep. No, I'm actually thinking about this now because I actually do have all the things to make a chicken noodle soup. I'm kind of contemplating, do I want to make a chicken noodle soup? Hi Bush, hi. Hi Bush, we're making soup today. It's soup day. Soup. Very cozy day, I think. We're not gonna really... I don't plan on screaming or anything like that. Nothing crazy on paper. We just relax and we just here. So, welcome in, welcome in. Actually, I'm honestly thinking about it. You know what? Why not? If not that, I'm just gonna dice some carrot at least. Maybe it won't be like, what is it? Maybe I won't make, what is it? Chicken noodle soup, but I'll definitely make some sort of soup, so I want to make a mirepoix for that at least. So hi Bush, how are you doing? Hi. Hope you've been having a grand day so far, Bush. I hope you've had a good day. I just kind of finished doing pretty rad. How are you? Honestly, I'll be honest, could be doing better. I was gonna just lightly brush over the subject just because my job, one of the people there is just a little bit insufferable, but that's really just how I'm gonna leave it at that. Really making me think every single day I could just leave that place. But unfortunately, it's like the people there are nice and all that, so hard to like really commit to this idea. But I will say, slowly, day by day, I do think about leaving that place, I'm gonna tell you. Hey, Bush, do you like soup? Kind of random question, I guess, but yeah, Bush, do you like soup? Yay, nay? How do you feel about soup? You love soup? You got a favorite kind of soup? Hi, Sue. Hi. Hi, Sue. How are you doing? Welcome in. I don't. I love all soup. Fair enough. I mean, that's good to be at least. If you don't really have a favorite. I like tomato soup with grilled cheese, actually. You know, I'm just saying that now, just because you brought that up. It is quite funny that you mentioned tomato soup and grilled cheese, because I actually had some tomatoes here, canned tomatoes, and I do actually have the bread from yesterday, which is brioche. And I actually did want to actually make a, what is it? I actually did want to make a tomato soup with grilled cheese. So that is quite funny. That wasn't even really planned for you, I'm not gonna lie. But it was just a plan from the start, so that's just kind of a funny little coincidence, isn't it? Little coinky dink. I have tomatoes and cheese and a bell pepper. Yeah, you could definitely make a tomato soup with that. That could definitely be... You see, here's the great thing about soup. Anything can be soup, really. You can make anything into soup if you really think about it. There's such thing as bread soup. Did you know? I think bread soup is actually... It's actually like more accurately to call it a cheesy bread soup, because that was a very poor kind of meal to make back in the time of that's because, you know, when you get your bread, and back in like the olden times, let's say like, I don't know, not medieval, but maybe medieval, I don't know, but in like some older times of then, people would actually put like some aged cheeses they would actually put some like water and bread into a pot and cook that down, and then you can make that into a soup. Soup is a very, very great thing to make because you can make a lot of it, and it's not that hard to make. It doesn't really require that much of a skill. It doesn't require much skill to make to begin with. I just think soup is an amazing, lovely thing. Soup was very popular in medieval times, yeah. Well, I imagine that probably was... Well, I'm trying to think, like, when was this, I guess, popularized? This idea of soup I have? Not soup. This, bread soup. I watched it from a YouTube channel, and I can't remember what time of age it was from. Have y'all ever heard of a really, like, cozy little, like, not medieval, but, like, it's a channel that's kind of based on the colonial days. I believe they're called Townsends or something like that. But I follow their stuff, and it's really fun to like watch their videos and whatnot. Get to learn a little bit about history in a very entertaining manner. Edutainment, if you will. I haven't really watched much of their stuff recently just because I haven't really seen much of it in the feed. But yeah, I know they definitely have done a lot of stuff with like soup. I mean, bread. And that's just because I'm not sure of how often I've talked about it, but I think bread is pretty much the means of the entire world. If bread did not exist, we would not be what we are today. No hyperbole. Yeah, there's no hyperbole. There is no trying to be funny here. No, I genuinely do think. First of all, I got some nice garlic with this. I genuinely do think that if bread was not conceived, I think the human race would not be where it is today. Have I ever gone on this rant before talking about the importance of bread in like
the society, our human society, the society of humanity as a whole. I've done a bit of research, a touch of real research, but it's kind of funny of how important bread is. I can't even say, I was about to say was, but like even today I would think that bread is extremely important. It's just that it's a little bit more subtle nowadays. And although it's not the main thing, it's also a small thing. You said this many, many times, good. I have to make sure that you all are known to the idea of the superiority and the absolute maddening, I guess, effects of bread, because bread is the greatest thing to ever conceive. It's the best human invention. Yeah, people will say like AI or something like that, like, you know, they'll say like me or you or something like that was the greatest invention to humanity. But you know what would happen if bread was not existent? We would not have said technology. Bread is important for the non-rice eating half of humanity. I mean, if you really want me to be more accurate to what I believe, I would say grain is possibly the most, undebatably, grain is the most important food source in humanity. And you know what rice is? A grain. So if you really want me to be more accurate to what I actually believe in, I guess, grain is possibly grain is the most important food stuff in humanity. No doubt in that regard, yeah? I would hope so, at least. I'm also not sure if you can get the memo right now. Maybe, perhaps, I'm not sure. But the first soup I am making is the tomato bisque. Tomato bisque is essentially when I just make a good tomato sauce, really. Like, for me to make a tomato bisque, I just make a really good tomato sauce at first. So I just get some onions, some garlic, and then I get some dried herbs and stuff in there. Nothing special. Just oregano and basil, and that does just fine. Now, if I wanted to be really lazy, I could just actually throw in some sugar, but no, that's not the right way to do this. Essentially, how I make tomato bisque. I just make a good tomato sauce. Then that tomato sauce can turn into tomato bisque. I'm pretty sure you could probably put the 2 and 3 together, yes? That's funny thing. I'm not sure if you lads do acknowledge this, but tomato bisque is just creamy tomato soup. You know, and you know what tomato soup is pretty much, right? It's you know, a sauce. So, and I didn't even say I was going to raise my voice that much today, but here I am, getting ready to raise said voice. Tomato sauce plus cream plus stock equal bisque. You really even need bisque, stock. You could actually just use water if you want to make it vegan and healthy like that. I personally don't like using stock because I don't feel like using stock sometimes. So I'm actually just going to use water to thin it out. But yeah, that's pretty much my recipe. I use 1 onion, 3 cloves of garlic, one 1/28 can of tomato, and then I use like a 1/4 of a cup of cream, and then a little bit of water to adjust the thickness. Is unfamiliar with non-seafood bisques. You see, that's the funny thing. Because, as you know, as you're aware, bisques usually are seafood based, yeah? For some reason, tomato bisque is one of those actually not really scenarios. It's some fuckery, let me tell you. Because, yes, you are correct in thinking that if you're unfamiliar with non-seafood bisques, technically, tomato bisque is not a bisque. It is just a creamy tomato soup. If we want to be like technical with definitions and whatnot, you are correct in that thing. That mindset right there. Okay. But yeah, I'm essentially to how I make like tomato bisque and whatnot. I just once more, as I've repeated like 3 times already today, you guys need to like listen in a little bit better here. I'm not the problem, you guys are. Yeah, it's just making a really good tomato sauce at first, and then you thin it out with water or stock if you really want to, and then you add cream at the end. It's simple. In a sense, it's a lot like a rosé sauce. Rosé sauce for like pastas and whatnot usually is just what is it? It's usually just it's just usually a tomato and cream sauce in cream. That's really what a rosé sauce really is. So hey, if you ever want to be fun and like, oh, you want to familiarize your guests and whatnot, and you make a tomato soup. I mean, if you make a tomato sauce and you add cream at the end, and you don't know what to call it, instead of just a tomato cream sauce, you can say, ooh, I have made you a lovely tomato rosé sauce. And then your guests might get completely confused and say, what the hell is that? Because people might think of rosé as in the wine, you know? No crustaceans? Yeah, there is no shellfish in sight with this thing. Usually, bisques are made with some sort of seafood, shellfish, or some of that variety, but bisque, tomato bisque, is not made with any. It's weird. Don't ask me. I don't know why it's the way that it is, but this is just the world that we live in. So, this is what it is. The food looks fantastic. I made rosé bread today? Really? Rosé bread? So you made bread with wine? Interesting. I feel like throughout human history, vegetables and meats have more of an impact, but through technological history, grain has absolutely made the biggest impact. The food does look rad. Thank you. Well, Bush, I will just say, to sustain a army, to sustain a civilization, yes, you need food. And you know what's the easiest food was the most easy to cultivate? Wheat. And people were able to make bread with that. Meat and other veggies are kind of hard because you have to make sure that you are gonna get thrown in the right seasons and this and that, and then drying out veggies is a very difficult thing. But you know what you can do with wheat berries when you don't want to make them into flour right away? You can dry them out. So you could save it for the winter time and all that too, or seasons of drought. Vegetables and meat tend to have a tendency of spoilage, and they are fairly high effort sort of things to have. That's why meat for the longest time was such a luxury product, you know? But then grain, bread, it's universally it's just universal. Everyone can get that, you know? And sourdough with butter to make it softer. Ooh. You see, I think I really want to make more stuff with my sour starter. Like, Wheatley does need, honestly, more time to shine. But I haven't really given him the time of day, nor the chance, really. Not because I don't want to, but I just don't feel like it. So take that for what you will. Hi, Saibi. Hi. Alright. Tomato bisque is now going into the pot. It is simmering low and slow. So, I'm now gonna start making mushroom soup. I'm not sure if I want to make it into cream of mushroom or just make it into mushroom soup, but we'll see. However, having rose water as the dominant flavor didn't really work. Maybe my rose water is not at its finest. Oh, you're talking about rose water. I thought you were talking about the wine rosé, because when I think of rosé, I do think of rosé wine and all that whatnot. So that's, I guess, my stand on that front. But rose water, that's an interesting take. I imagine, if anything, if you try and use like rose water and whatnot, you definitely need to try and pair it with flavors that kind of exasperate its floral flavors and whatnot. So maybe the utilization of saffron or lavender, that would probably help your help the flavor. Though at the same time, I will mention that if you bake at high heats or just anything above 350 really, the flavor of the rose water might dissipate, just because at high enough temperatures, specific flavors will become, I don't think volatile is the right word, but it becomes muted. Floral flavors are very, very delicate, and those are things that you kind of have to add at the end to really maximize its potential and flavor. So adding rose water to your bread, it's almost like just adding normal water at that point, unless you really, really condense your rose water, because it's so floral. It's very weak in the sense of heat resistance and whatnot, so it's gonna have a hard time surviving and thriving, you know? Would a rosé smoked salmon be good? Would a rose smoked salmon be good? Still kind of falters in that issue, though I will admit it might be a little bit easier. It depends on what you do, but also at the same time, how would you imbue salmon with, rose water? Because usually usually the common etiquette to when you smoke salmon, you cure it first, and curing brings out moisture, and you use a lot of salt. So it's a little bit more difficult to try and do that if you were to use rose water, because it almost implied that you're gonna try to almost like brine it, you know, or pickle, or weirdly enough to say, well, pickle's probably gonna include vinegar, but I guess brine is the correct word. So, I mean, I guess on paper you could brine salmon in rose water, and since if you do a cold smoke, which is like at 88 degrees Fahrenheit, that could possibly make it a little bit more tolerable. But then you have to be very careful on the smoke, because the smoke can actually be overpowering and completely mute the flavor of the rose. So it's one of those things where it's like, it could work, but you have to really like keep all your flavors in check. Hi Rez, hi. I had lavender. If I had lavender, I would have used it. The flavor did come through, and I didn't take that much rose water, so maybe 50 milligrams? Like 50 milligrams more, or what's the deal? I mean, how much bread did you end up making? How much rose water did you add? Etc. and etc. Temperature? Time of baking? Like, how long did you bake it for? Etc. and etc. Rose oil for the salmon. Rose oil? I didn't know rose oil was a thing. That was kind of weird, honestly. Rose oil. Hey, I mean, if that works, it works. You could then... Actually, that's actually a great idea, using a rose oil if you want the flavor of a rose, like floral flavors and whatnot. because usually when you smoke food, you can kind of preserve it in oil, almost like a not confit in the sense, but to preserve some of your salmon, sometimes you can dunk it in oil, and then the next day you can start slicing it and all that whatnot for like yablaks or whatnot. Possibly, maybe then you can imbue more of that flavor, but I don't know. These are things that I've never done before, so I can't really help you on that front, other than give you my intuitive suggestion, I guess. I'm not very smart though, so you're taking a gamble with me, I will mention. Small loaf, 50 grams of rose water, baked for about an hour, slightly underdone. Oh wow. I will mention, if it's underdone, you might have to go higher with the temperature. I didn't mean to measure the rose water, I just poured in a few glugs. Fair enough. Like the perfume makers in the Middle East make perfume, they don't use water, they cook petals, thousands of them, all into an amorous oil pot. That sounds about right. I don't know. I don't really like floral flavors, honestly. So like saffron, I'm not a very huge fan of. I don't really like all those flavors. I don't really like lavender as a result as well. I feel like it's either too pungent or it's just kind of meaningless for me. So that's my take on like floral flavors. If you like it, more power to you. I wish I could enjoy like how you could. Half an hour, I should have left it in longer. That's still a long time for bread. Depending on what kind of bread you make, though. I definitely am thinking now out loud here, but man, I really do want to do a Cobblemon stream. I have been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it long and hard. I want to do some streams of Cobblemon and do some events and whatnot. Just haven't had the time to go do it, so. Jasmine and Lavender are great. Once more, I'm glad that you're able to enjoy it. I personally have not enjoyed lavender and stuff like that in a food that I've enjoyed. And I wish I could, because it seems very... Okay, actually, you know what? I take that back. In food, it's hard to enjoy floral flavors. However, when it is a dessert, it is a lot more palatable because floral flavors lurk a lot more efficiently, I suppose, in sweeter desserts and whatnot. So, yes. Jasmine and lavender are great. Well, yeah, from American Rose Society, the actual smelling compounds of rose are oil-based. Interesting. That definitely makes sense. So yeah, rose oil would keep the flavor better. Yeah, definitely better than using like an oil, I mean a water, like a tea-based thing. Yeah. I wish I had some more onion, honestly. It's not gonna really have nice onion flavor with these soups, but it should be good enough. And that is the epiphany of me. Not great, but I feel like I'm at least good enough. Great. Oh, okay. I just remembered something I want to talk about today, just because it was very wholesome. It was very cute, and I don't know. It just felt very sweet. So there was this during my shift. I work breakfast and whatnot. I do an omelet station of sorts, and there's been this kid that's been showing up. She's like a very sweet lass. I think she has a prosthetic from what she said. And I don't know. I haven't really looked down at her legs. That's not really something that I really go down and look at. Like, oh yeah, I have a prosthetic foot, which is honestly kind of cool. It must suck to have prosthetics and whatnot, but like maybe it's just because I'm just spoiled in the sense of like, oh, I have feet and I'm just kind of sick of them. But like, I feel like I look at prosthetics and think like, wow, pretty cool. Is it worth losing my entire leg for? No, but it definitely seems very neat. And if I were to ever lose my leg, I don't think I'd be terribly upset. Just I don't feel like trying to relearn balance, which is one of the bigger worries, I suppose. I would think at least, I'm not sure. As I will mention, this flesh body I do use and subject to such things. Oh, there goes that piece of celery. I have legs still, so. Yay, where is thou ice? Stop. Okay. So instead of using raw garlic, because I don't feel like it, I'm gonna use my roast garlic oil. It's gonna be my mushroom soup. Yeah, this stuff's great because it's kind of coagulated into like an actual oil. But the thing is since it's fat and covered in a whole lot of fat, it's preserved. But it's so nice because it's just a nice flavor bomb up garlic. It's lovely. It's like using a garlic butter, but instead of just being garlic and butter, it's just pure on garlic. It's amazing. Yeah, you guys can talk about your rose oils and other oils and this and that, but me, I'm gonna use my garlic oil. Love garlic oil. Oh yeah, so anyways, sorry, I got distracted. So there was the very sweet lass who was like been at the breakfast area for a while. Her and her mom, they're very sweet, they're very nice, and it's like, oh my goodness, you are so sweet. And it made me low-key really want to go back to babysitting. I used to babysit a whole lot when I was used to babysit a whole lot when I was in high school still. So like a few years ago, used to babysit a whole bunch of the kids in my neighborhood I used to be a part of. They were sweet, they were nice, and I would like to think that I was a pretty cool, or at least very nice babysitter at least. I mean, for one thing, I would try to actually make sure that, hey, if I'm gonna babysit you, I'm not just gonna go on my phone and just like say, hey, you guys do whatever you want. I'm gonna, you know, try and have fun. I'm gonna try and have fun with you. I'll bring toys. I'll bring Nerf guns. I'll plan an event. I'll go make sure we can go outside or something like that. You know, have like fun little excursions and whatnot. But also just a random thing, just because things are now just popping in my head now that I'm talking about children. I have a little funny story. It's not really a story, but an experience, more or less, because during said high school, You know, you have your electives and all that whatnot. Like you can choose like languages and this and that and that and this. For some reason, in my head, and I don't regret it now. Actually, I very very fondly of it now. But I took a class on child development, and it's kind of, I don't know. It's not weird. In hindsight, it's not weird or anything, I guess. But something that was kind of funny when I did take the child development course, I was the only guy there. Everyone in the class was basically girls. They were women, the males even. I don't know. I've never seen these things before. But it felt really awkward, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I want to learn about child development because if I grow up, and if I have a family, and if I want to do these things, I would at least like to know how to be a good father, or at least be able to teach children, because I think being a teacher is cool. I don't know. So I did have an interest in it regardless, so I did go into learn like child development and all that whatnot. And it's kind of funny because a lot of the things that you learn in child development is kind of almost like common sense, but for literal children. In the sense of like, be kind, don't be abrasive, and just be supportive, but also know when to, you know, be abrasive when it's appropriate, of course. Like there was a thing one of the things I remember very well with this child development class. For one thing, it's like you want to be nice. You want to like not point at people, because the insinuation of pointing at someone like this, it has a lot of like authority. It has a lot of negative connotation and can basically be generally seen as, well, rude, obviously. But it's kind of funny because like a lot of the stuff that they would talk about, I not accidentally, it's kind of been imbued into my normal ways of like, I guess, what is the word here? Working in a kitchen and whatnot, and like talking to guests inside the kitchen. Because, you know, usually how, oh, welcome, and they like, how people will usually like hold a hand out and kind of go like that. Or like, oh, follow me this way, or this way and that way. They don't usually point, right? So, I don't know. It's kind of funny how like a lot of like child development based things that I learned in that class is kind of actually less that and just more like manners in a way. I just thought that was always mean. I think I say though, I'm not sure if this is just fucked up gender norms or whatnot. I gotta say it. It's real funny. But like, I always feel like I'm such a weirdo. Like I'm a weird guy for saying like, oh, children, they're cool. Silly little guys doing their silly little things. I don't know. I don't exactly get like, I don't exactly get like baby fever or anything like that. I think that's the right term towards like, oh, I want to care for a child or whatnot. I'm not exactly sure what baby fever is, but I'm assuming because there is a lot of. When I was taking that class, the child development class, a lot of the girls would talk about, what is it, baby fever? And I just only was able to pick up what they were putting down of like, oh yeah, they want to have a child, they want to care for one, blah 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 blah, they're cute, blah blah blah. Oh. Anyone above like 15 or 16 is fine. I can't stand younger kids. I think younger kids are funny. And also, just because they're younger kids, they often get a pass in many regards. So they're able to get away with saying some of the most volatile, crazy stuff. And when you actually do hear them say funny things, it's like, whoa, wait, you said that? That's crazy, you know? Like, you wouldn't expect a 3-year-old child to say, shut up, or something like that. I would be like, just really, I'd be flabbergasted for one thing, but another thing I would just say, okay, that's really funny. Don't say it again though, because that's me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weird guy. I don't know. I'm not a guy. I'm actually just what a gal incarnated into a guy's body. Wow. Femboy of the bread makes soup. More news at 11. Sure, I guess. I don't really think I'm even a femboy. Actually, you know what? These are things I did want to talk about. I was thinking about this at work today. Saying that you like kids platonically isn't weird. Yeah. You have to put the platonically because it's saying, "Oh, I like kids." Is kind of weird to say online nowadays, no? Especially with what kind of people are online and like the past celebrities. The online personalities, not celebrities, do some funny things to children. But I don't even think just saying platonically is like right to say, just because that insinuates. And I'm thinking too hard. Whatever. So anyway, what I was trying to say, there is kind of a funny little thing about, I guess, calling me I don't know. I don't really know what the word for this would be. Because, I remember like during, I would say now honestly still too, it's just that I don't really have this opportunity to let out this power level. But I feel like that I'm actually quite, what's the word? I wouldn't say motherly because that's usually for women. I'm not sure, is there a word equivalent for like a man to being motherly, or is that just like a gender neutral word to use in this sense, you know? Like, oh, I'm dumb as shit. A caring behavior, paternal? I guess paternal would work, yeah. But just like a generalized of like, oh, just being very caring and blah 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 blah. Yes, I know, I sound narcissistic. I'm giving myself a compliment here, but I do think that, but the connotations are different. Yeah, I do like to think that, given a circumstance and whatnot, I can be very, what's the word? Fatherly? Well, fatherly, I don't know. I'm not sure if fatherly is even the right word. I'm not sure. Because the thing about being fatherly, I don't know. I don't really. Paternal is the father as well, though, too. I mean, the thing about like motherly behavior is like very caring, very soft, very warm and inviting, I guess. But like fatherly behavior, it's more or less like, I don't know, grounded in the sense of like being more grounded, telling you like what you did wrong and whatnot, like being more realistic in that regard. I don't know. These are things I never really think too hard about. Man, gender normal as fuck nowadays, huh? Yeah. I wish I had another pot. And I know, I do have another pot here. But they're just gonna be for the beef bourguignon. Actually, you know what? I have another thing I can use for it. So anyways, I guess another thing to chat about, just because on that same idea and mindset of like, oh, I want to go to babysit and whatnot, I also kind of was like thinking of a lot of like, oh, I kind of would think it'd be cool to have a kid. Now, I'm not sure about making a kid because that's kind of out of my ballpark of comfort. Though adoption is never out of the answer. Though I would feel very weird to explain. It's one of those things that I don't really... normal people won't really think about because it's not really a normal person thing to think about. But like, I'm also adopted. So trying to explain, hey, you're also adopted, I'm adopted, we are not alike in the sorts. That's a weird conversation to have down the line. And it's like, I don't know. Conversation I don't think I'd be ready to talk about. But at the same time, I probably would just, if I were to ever have a kid, and if they were adopted, they most likely will be. I'm probably gonna do the same thing my parents did, honestly, because I think what my parents did was the best thing to do. Because my parents basically told me when I was like, they told me like 5 years old or something like that, like, hey, you're adopted and all that whatnot, because I guess I asked them like, I asked them like, oh, why do I not look like you? Why do I not look like everyone else? Blah 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 blah. Because you're obviously at some point you're gonna ask a question, so I don't know. But I feel like that's also kind of just the healthiest thing to actually like know, I guess. The healthiest way to like process it, because at that point it's like, you know, you're adopted and it's like, okay, it doesn't really hit you down the line. Because like, I feel like if I was definitely told at like, well, first of all, if I was told that I was adopted at like 13, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense, because I don't look anything like my parents. Honestly, it's kind of, you know what's kind of funny on paper? With how I am, I could literally just go pick up anyone from the street right now. I wouldn't, because that's weird. But I could get anyone from the street and tell you guys, hey, this is my mom, this is my dad. And you guys would not know any of the wiser. One of those weird things about being adopted. Anyone could be my parents, I guess. And who's to say I'm wrong? You can't prove it. You know, I'm also curious because I don't really know the audio right now. I actually haven't been watching or listening to any of my VODs or streams or whatnot, but I am curious. Is this loud? How is the audio right now? It's not terribly loud, is it? I imagine you can hear some sense of the pot and cooking and all that whatnot, but it's not obtrusive or anything, right? And if it is, I would hope that you would tell me. It's a bit louder than usual. Well, that's just kind of how it is. Unfortunately. I will say I kind of wish I had some more mushrooms here. This is gonna be kind of a sad mushroom soup. And clipping slightly? Yeah, that makes no sense. This, the audio thing, the mic audio voice changer thing I have set for stream and whatnot. It's weird. I don't really know how to configure it, and I'm also too lazy to configure it, and I don't know how to begin with. So, hi Mahler, hi. Alright, there we go. Kind of funny. This is technically would be more of a celery onion soup than a mushroom soup. It's just that there's, unfortunately, not that many mushrooms in there. Oh, wait! I've been meaning to use these. And it's quite unfortunate that I'm using it for such a low-key thing. But I have some dried up chanterelle mushrooms. And you know what? If I need more mushrooms, I think this is a perfect place to put them in. But it's also kind of fun because I also have the pot on the side here full of stems. You know, the stems of the mushrooms. I'm making like a low-key mushroom stock. But I'm actually thinking, why not throw some of these chanterelle mushrooms into that water, not only flavoring the stock even more, but also just adding some more mushroom into the soup. And honestly, the stems are edible. You can actually eat mushroom stems. So I actually might take the stems out and actually blend them into like a nice fine paste. Mix that with a bit of cream, make like a low-key mushroom cream, a mushroom cream puree, and then putting that in the soup, and even, I'm probably gonna do that. This is the fun thing about cooking, just coming up with like 20 ways to make your food even better, or just adding things to make it like more fun or whatnot. Intuition, if you will. Just right now, I'm currently looking for some bits of flavor, such as using some bay leaves. It do be like that sometimes. It do be. And also, just because it's mushrooms and I'm psychotic and stupid and weird, I'm also just gonna add a pinch of MSG. Of course, you know, just more umami, more flavor. I gotta say though, I love the smell of mushroom. The smell of cooked mushroom just smells so good. And now my kitchen smells amazing, so hey. I guess now, if anything, I should actually try to make that beef bourguignon that I keep talking about. And actually, my favorite thing to cook, like stewing and stuff like that, is doing it in a Dutch oven. So, I actually do have a Dutch oven, so why not use it? That's what the name Uma Musume reminds me of. I felt like Uma Musume sounded like a word, but I didn't know what the word was. Honestly, I don't exactly know what Uma Musume means exactly either. I believe Uma Musume is like, it means like human, it's actually horse girl. Though I'm not exactly sure. I haven't done enough pandering to find out if that's true or not. Honestly, you know who'd probably be the best person to ask to knowing the true answer to that? You. Uma Musume is literally horse girl. Yes. Okay. But is it okay? So is there? Oh wait, I'm thinking like I'm thinking human. Because I'm trying to think like, oh, how do you say human in Japanese? And it's like ningen or something like that, right? So I was like, oh, it can't be human horse. But I also don't know how you say girl in Japanese. So I guess Uma is horse, and then Musume is girl? Is my Nihongo Jozu? Is that how that works? Hito person. Sorry. This is gonna be a little... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this authentically. In the sense that I'm gonna do this how it should be done. And usually you're supposed to marinate your beef overnight for one thing. But you're supposed to actually toss in a touch of flour. Does a few things. It adds, it makes your beef more colorful. It adds thicken. It makes your sauce, it makes your thing more capable of thickening and all that whatnot more naturally. All that whatnot. Just the only issue is then, you know, wet and dry. It's going to be a bit more difficult to do. But we shall persevere. So I guess in that sense, Bush, Uma Musume is not a word, it's actually two words technically. Also, I kind of just looked into this, though I'm not so sure how true it is. I'm not sure if it's a cosplayer or the actual VA. But one of the VAs or a really nice cosplayer of one of the fourth gals in Uma Musume plays Apex, and they were dressed up as one of the horse gals, and it was really funny to watch, actually. It's like, oh, she just shot someone. That's so fun. That's funny. I don't know. The act of shooting someone is not fun, but the out of character nature of it was really funny. Was she dressed up as Goldship? No, she was actually dressed up as Agnes Tachyon, the science one. You see, the thing of if it was Goldship, it'd just be like, oh, okay, that's just Goldship, that's Goldship. But it was Agnes Tachyon, and I don't know, that's actually really funny. I don't know. It's like, out of all the characters, I don't think she's the one that would hold up a gun and shoot people in Apex. Either way, you know what? Slay and all that. So, more power to them. Right. You know, I definitely have to move one of my loaves of bread here. This is the day, yesterday. But I have to like move it aside. It's kind of getting in the way. Right. Also, am I the only one that's still kind of shocked and surprised with the staying power of Uma Musume? Like, I love Uma Musume, but I'm also still gotta admit and say I'm kind of shocked that it's still kind of like, for lack of a better word, relevant. maybe it's perceived relevancy just because I very much what is it? I'm much more in tune with the cultures. But I don't know. Not the culture, the what is it, the games. So I'm gonna obviously see it more as a result. But I feel like I see it a lot more than like other things, you know? In memes and stuff like that. In normie memes for one thing. Normal people are talking about Uma Musume, so now you know it's reached a wider audience, if you will. Also, Bush, just saying, I'm not gonna force you, but you know, hey Bush, you should play Uma Musume. It's a fun game. You probably wouldn't like it, but to play it once, maybe, for me, please. A lot of strange things are popular with normal people. That is true. A lot of normal people like strange things. No, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta 100% admit, I still think I'm like a normie. Like, I'm not too into anime in the sense of like, I'm not like huge on anime. I'm starting to become less normal because of Q, so I blame her for being me not being normal anymore, and I thank her for that, honestly. Honestly, being normal is kind of boring and kind of freaky, so, you know. I tried, I didn't like it. You know what, though? Bush, if you didn't like it, but you tried it, I respect it that you at least tried it. Bro, meat when it's like half cooked looks horrid. Yeah, it always doesn't look that way. It always is kind of gray looking this into it. Especially beef of all things too. Chicken at least can get like a nice golden brown, but like beef is one of those things that just turns gray and it just does not look pleasant at all. Not even including the amount of oil that's flying around right now. Ouch. Did something happen to your mic? You sound like you're in a tunnel. I do have a kind of a new like mic system. So there might be a bit more echo than usual, so that's probably a thing. Also, hi Daishima, hi. This is how I know, like, you guys are psychotic. Because I imagine the audio right now is absolutely atrocious. You have to be some of the strongest people on Twitch and YouTube to actually watch my stream. Because I imagine the audio is absolutely asinine. And like, you know, for most streams, you're not really here for like, the streamer sometimes. Well, maybe you are, I'm not sure. But like, listening in the background is kind of like majority of what people do when they watch streams. So having this atrocious, the audio is horrible right now. Yeah, that sounds about right. You sound super muffled. Hold on, let me try and fix that then. Let me try something. Alright, so I'm like 50% sure that just made it worse. But how is the audio now? Is it better or worse? I imagine it's a lot worse. It's much better. Alright, well, we'll run with this then. Just, for the love of God, don't turn me into a female. Don't turn me into a girl, because then I have to go turn my voice mod on, and I gotta change the other thing, and this and that, and like... Do you want to listen to this, or do you want me to be back into a tunnel, you know? These are the questions you must ask. These are the strong answers you must give. The only thing is we hear the sizzling, but it's not loud. Well, I mean, if you want to hear the sizzling, I imagine you would, you know? It's like... kind of the, ASMR, if you will. I suppose. I guess. I'm also trying to be very careful because I don't want to set off my smoke alarm. But I will say, if we set up a smoke alarm, that's how you know we're cooking better. That's how you know we're doing good cooking, if we set up a smoke alarm. We are not cooking for real until the smoke alarm goes off. Yeah, I probably just gotta check out voice mod a bit more. Probably gotta play the settings a bit more to try and get the nice balance of not so echo. I don't know how that thing works. Collab with Smoke Alarm Kun. Oh yes, my favorite. I love him so much. He's my favorite. Definitely not loud, definitely not obtrusive. The best, what is it, roommate of all time, etc. and etc. Anyways, fun part now. Onions. Carrots. And mushrooms. I don't know why I'm using this. I should be using the, I should be using my wooden spoon. It'll actually be better to get the fond on the bottom of the pan here. Gotta add more oil, actually. You know, it is really funny when you use a bottle of oil to cook with. You don't realize, but when you have it like that, you actually you use a lot more oil than you really think you would. Now, a funny thing I'm actually gonna do here, I'm actually gonna grab my ladle here, and the tomato soup, I'm gonna grab some of that tomato sauce here. Actually, wait, I'm gonna blend it real quick, hold on. Because what I like to do when I do like a stew and whatnot, I like to add, wait, do I have tomato paste? Tomato paste is always a nice option to add. I would have added that, but I don't have any. So like a next best thing is using like canned tomato or like something like that. Crushed tomato works even too. So, but before we do that, I'm actually going to move some stuff real quick. Back of the pan. And yeah, let me blend this up. This soon-to-be tomato bisque. Alright. Measured blenders are fun, I agree. I hope this isn't too loud. There is a lot of noise happening right now. But it's also just par for the course just because kitchens are loud. And especially when I have 5 pots right now, things get really loud with the inclusion of an immersion blender. You know, there's just a lot of things going on right now, chat. Don't you understand? This is what happens in a normal kitchen. This is very tame in the grand scheme of it all. So anyways, just because there's a lot of loud stuff still. I'm gonna take a little bit of this, pour that in. The tomato, the reason why I add tomato and whatnot, it adds body, it adds nice good body to like a soup and whatnot, or for a stew specifically, so. Especially when I'm doing a beef bourguignon, it's very much a welcomed thing too. I feel like I joined at a very chaotic moment. I mean, kinda, not really. It's not really chaotic in the sense of like I'm burning something down or something. It's just that it just gets really loud in the kitchen. It just genuinely does. I'll just rephrase it again, just because I probably said it and it wasn't loud enough. But when you have 4 pots on the stovetop, one's cooking, the other one's boiling, and then you're using an immersion blender, things just are bound to get loud, you know? Alright, I'm gonna add my beef back in. And now I'm gonna add all of the wine that the beef was marinating into this as well. So unfortunately, since I don't have beef stock, I gotta use a little bit of water instead. Yeah, here we go. I wish I had like a lighter or something, because I could probably burn off some of the what is it? I could probably burn some of the alcohol right now, and who doesn't like a little bit of fire, right? That being said, I now have to like really scrape down the bottom of the thing here. Want to make sure I get all that nice, delicious fond on the bottom. Where all the hidden flavors are. And also, just because, I'm sorry, I'm incredibly grossly Asian. But I'm going to use my cheat code and add a little bit of MSG. Yes, my favorite flavor enhancer. Added that little bit of water, that should be enough size. And yeah, there we go. That is my beef bourguignon. Do I have any thyme? Like dry thyme, that would be really cumin, oregano, none. Anyways, that is now going to stew for a bit. I'm gonna let that do its thing for a while. So yeah, that's bourguignon I have working. I'll probably have to add salt and stuff later, but that's a later problem, not right now. Stuff has to stew and cook and all that whatnot. But back to the mushroom soup I was trying to make. I have my mushroom stock that I've been working on so far. I gotta just pick out the bay leaves now. And actually, you know what? Funny enough, the bay leaves that are in here, I'm actually just gonna throw them into my stew. Come on. Because they still probably have a bit more use there still. Gonna let them simmer down in there. But yeah, I have all of this now, and I'm actually gonna make this into like a nice fine puree. Kitchen tweezers. Yeah, they're useful. They just are useful. Quiet you. Oh. Gotta clean this thing out. Alright, time to get out the loud the thing again. The thingy. This, the immersion blender. I need to get it out again. Because now I have to make a little bit of a mushroom puree. Oh, there's one more baby. It's one of those times where I wish I had like a Vitamix or like an immersion, not like an immersion blender, but like a blender. Not enough liquid. Oh wait, actually I could add the cream now too, now that I think of it. I said like I was gonna do that anyways, huh? Do. That should be enough now. Okay, there we go. Oh, sorry. Just hit the mic, just punched you guys, my bad. Ah, what time is it? 6:31. Alright. Anyways, mushroom cream, that's gonna go in now. I'm gonna try and actually clean the rest of this out with water. Because once more, I don't have any specialized stocks. I don't have mushroom stock or anything like that, unfortunately. So I must, unfortunately, just use water. I probably have a little bit of chicken stock somewhere, so I could use that instead. But I'm already committing to this now. There we go. Dried chanterelles are in. Gotta just get some stuff now. Okay. There we go. That looks good. Now I'm just gonna let that kind of simmer out, do its thing here, and I'll have like a nice chanterelle little baby Bella portobello soup, mushroom soup. Keep walking into the kitchen and looking at the ingredients. Like, oh, walking into the wait. Keep walking into the kitchen and looking at ingredients. I mean, are you planning on cooking something? What's the deal? Why are you just staring at your ingredients like that? They want to be utilized. They require your assistance to be cooked into something greater. Blah blah blah. On the pot that goes. But now I'm gonna finish up this. Because unlike all the others we're making today, this one I'm probably going to... This is... I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm finishing up the tomato bisque. Okay. Clean up the rest of my stuff here. Best to clean it now than later. In a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna go hit the hay, have a good rest of stream. I will see you around. Rest up well side. Bye bye. Okay. Soup. Yes, indeed. Soup. Soup. Someone should do something with this leek. Perhaps someone should do something with that leek. Maybe even make a soup with that leek. Maybe a vichyssoise of sorts. Except maybe not cold, because vichyssoise is kind of a weird soup, I will say. Done, all smooth, creamed, and simmered. There you go. Tomato soup, tomato bisque, whatever you would like to call it. Cream of tomato, rose sauce. I don't know. It's gonna be a real nice thing when I it's hot. When I put this with my what is it? My soon-to-be grilled cheese, because that's actually my penultimate goal. Yes, I want to make soup and whatnot, just so I have some food down the line for this week coming. It's gonna be very busy. It's gonna be a very busy bee, if you will. But... oh, you know what? I'm gonna add a touch of roast garlic to this, too. Just because I'm a sucker for roast garlic. I'm gonna keep it on. But, got myself a tiny bisque. And there we go. I'm gonna get a little spoon here, give it a little tasty. Is it tasty? It needs a little work. Most importantly, it just needs salt. Like a lot of salt. Alright. Now it needs a bit of pepper and a bit more cream, honestly. That. It's a bit more of the should get. Oh, that definitely looks a lot better. Right. Third time's a charm. Yep. That's a good tomato soup. There we go. All done. Alright, you know, I've just been doing a lot of cooking and not a lot of talking. So, hey, I'm gonna throw a subject out there for you guys to chew on, to talk about, to ponder on. Favorite soups. What's your lads' favorite soups? I will admit, because I don't know, there's a lot of soup in the world I've tried, but like, would you consider like ramen and noodle soups like that, like pho and all that soup? Because if we're counting that, I definitely gotta say I think pho is my favorite soup. But if that doesn't really count as soup for some reason, I would definitely think that another soup that works well, I honestly really like, what is it? I personally like just chicken noodle. You can't go wrong with like a good old cream, chicken noodle. Basic. Soup. Pho is soup. Ramen kind of is. I mean, I feel like ramen almost has its own place as a soup, you know? It's not really a soup. I imagine in my head, in my silly little brain, that ramen is just kind of ramen, you know? Ramen's ramen. It's not really soup. It's not really a stew or anything like that. Ramen is just kind of what it is. The chanterelle soup looks really... Okay, you know, I kind of am thinking about this out loud in my head now. But you know what this soup actually does need? The tomato soup? It needs butter. Because of course, it's not enough with just cream. It needs more dairy. You also bet your ass that if I had any, like, what is it? If I had any like cheese, well, like cheese that would work well, like a yellow cheddar. Unfortunately yellow, but I would think yellow cheddar would be very nice in this soup too. I would go as far and say, I guess technically ramen is the noodles, but putting them in broth kind of makes it soup. Okay, well, now we're getting into like a weird territory. Cause like, what is considered a soup then, you know? Like, is ramen more of a... Okay, is ramen pho more of a noodle dish? Or is it acceptable to call it a soup? What makes a soup, you know? These are the questions that now we have to ask. I don't have a specific favorite. I like the ability of soup to handle arbitrary ingredients. It's marginally soup. It is somewhat kind of maybe soup. I get it. But yeah, I have my tomato soup now. And just like most things that I'm gonna have for down the line, down the drain of things, I'm gonna start not packaging it, but I'm gonna start pinting it up. Liquidness is an important property of soup. I agree. I agree to that. But less liquidness and more like, I guess, consistency would be the right word for me to say. Also, look at this soup now. The chanterelle soup. The chanterelle and portobello soup. It looks pretty good. Been kind of simmering low here. Kind of pretty. Has a very sort of rustic look to it with that mushroom cream that we put in. The chanterelles, well, I'm not sure what they're gonna taste like. But also with them kind of, what is it, simmered in the broth here. They're gonna regain a lot of flavor. But also, I feel like I need to put a lot of salt in here too, because I did put a lot of water in here as well. But eggnog isn't soup, so it has the usual rule where the sweet things are excluded from the normal categories. I mean, I bet there are some sweet soups out there in the world. I wouldn't really know them on top of my head. I'm not really much of a soup guru, fortunately. Ooh, that is very tasty. Very umami. I would go as far and say like it's a like earthy sweet. Quite tasty though. Yeah, I'm gonna let that do its thing and simmer out a little bit more. And just like most soups, it's probably gonna be better tomorrow. So I'm gonna let that simmer out low here. Different burner. And I'm gonna just say this straight up. You're not gonna see the bourguignon be done at all today. This is gonna take such a long time, just because stewing, you know, it needs to stew, and stewing takes a lot of time. I don't feel like I need to explain these things. Don't make me. Well, anyways, let us make, I guess, the final thing for today, because I do want to make this and kind of probably tuck her down for the night, kind of relax and all that whatnot. I didn't clean out my pan properly last time. Ugh. But amongst all of this whatnot and stuff, whoa, ooh, that was close. Amongst all this whatnot and stuff, I did actually want to make a grilled cheese. Something that I've been craving for a while here is just have a little grilled. I don't know why. Recently, I've been in the mood for some very simple, like, comfort food. Amongst those things is grilled cheese, so of course, grilled cheese is on my menu, if you will. So, let's get to making some grilled cheese, yes? If I have to explain, I'm gonna say this right now. If you are gonna ask me to explain how to make grilled cheese, I'm concerned. But I'm excited because I actually get to check out my loaf I made. The brioche I made the other day. Look at this! Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it like perfect? Almost picture perfect, I was going far and say. Like, it's a beautiful loaf of brioche. I think it's probably the best brioche I've made in quite some time. Quality stuff, I'll tell yous. And now, the crumb that I get to finally witness is nice. It's beautiful. It's tight in a good way. So, wait, how it looks. It looks great. It feels soft. It smells buttery. The color is beautiful. It's a beautiful yellow. It has a nice amount of density to where this is going to be a very, very great, what is it? A very great grilled cheese. Looks almost industrially produced. and you would be so dumbfounded to find that this was made in my own kitchen with my recipe. Which is what I really like about baking, when it's done correct, when I can do it correctly, when I'm actually having a working brain cell in this goddamn brain, where it actually works correctly and all that whatnot. Like, oh my god, I know how to bake! Great, it's great when it works. Okay, so anyways, I have the Munster cheese I had from the other day. I think other day. I don't remember. Oh yeah, no, I think it was like literally. Wait, didn't I stream literally yesterday? Right? I did stream yesterday, right? I can't remember. But I think I used some of the Munster cheese to make a turkey sandwich. So there's that. But I'm using some of this Munster cheese to actually make a grilled cheese. Wow. Hi, Whoops. Hi, hi. Nice to see you whooping around. Hi, hi. Yeah, you streamed yesterday, lol. I just don't remember when I stream nowadays. Just because I don't really have a set schedule. I don't really like following a set schedule. I don't like being I don't like commitment! I have commitment issues. So I've been going back to my old self of just doing impulse streams, you know. It's not soft enough. Alright, well, I'll try and manage here. It's kind of funny, I don't really pay attention to how much I stream anymore. I just know that, oh, I stream and I don't stream. I kind of almost see a lot how I would like my job and whatnot. It's like, oh, I'm at work or I'm not at work. I don't really keep track of the days anymore, unfortunately. Like, oh, it's Monday? Oh, I didn't know it was Monday. I just knew I was working today, you know? Butter in the brioche, butter on the brioche. Hell yeah, you know it. So I've also been trying to find like the best way to make a grilled cheese. And so far the best way I found to make a grilled cheese is actually starting it in a cold pan. And then doing it just like this, just one side up like that. Also, Salty, this is unrelated, but I thought you'd like the game. Like the game a lot. How do you feel about Project Zomboid? You see, I like Project Zomboid. I just don't want to play it alone, you know? I have been interested, I believe I have the game, but I just haven't had the greatest opportunity just to play it yet. I do want to play it. I would like to play it on stream, perhaps. But I have to go find someone to harass to play Zomboid with. Maybe I can grab Q. I don't know. And maybe I can kidnap you. I don't know. Hell, who knows? I sure as hell don't. It's on your wish list. I don't think you have it though. I'll probably get it eventually. Speaking of wish lists and stuff like that, I definitely have to go stalk people's wish lists and whatnot because Christmas time and is the winter sales up yet? Are the Steam winter sales live yet? Because I need to start buying Christmas presents for my pals, my fellow gamers and all that. I like to do it every year, just buying a whole bunch of nonsensical games for some of the pals. Good people deserve good things, you know, you know. Nah, but the Konami sale is... alright. Konami. Interesting, interesting. So yeah, the funny thing of how I like make a grilled cheese sandwich or cheese toasty, I treat it how people would cook duck, which is kind of feels very pedant. Feels really stupid. Because this is not like a very fancy thing to cook at such a way, but doing it regardless. Because easy. It gets it nice caramelized and this beautiful GBD. Okie doke. I think this. Looking at the mushroom soup here, I've been keeping an eye on it. It's kind of ready almost any minute here. Good. How is? That's good. Just salt. Honestly, if I really do wish I had like some time. It needs some herbage. It needs some love like that, you know? Honestly, maybe a few potatoes too. Maybe a bit more cream. Soup's always kind of funny, just because it's like, oh, it could use this, it could use that, it could use this. Since soup is so freeform, I feel like if you ever want to learn how to cook, soup is like a really good way to learn basic, not mechanics, not like a game, basics of cooking, like searing or like braising, stuff like that. I feel like it's very, very good, important even. If you want to learn how to cook, just make some soups. That and like if you are learning how to do knife cuts, a good utilization for your knife cuts, if you don't want to throw it out, is actually using it for soup. Perfect time for it, so I'm also just going to use some of these here, dip it into Ooh, yeah, that's good. Ooh, that's tasty. You know what? I can't hold myself back, I'm sorry. Yeah, the brioche is very nice, very flavorful, buttery, eggy, and has a nice subtle sweetness to it too. And it pairs amazingly with the tomato bisque, and I can't help but, you know, kind of dip into it already now. Maybe if the... Wait, so, Bush. Sekiro, is that a Konami game? Sekiro is from Software. Okay. Never mind. Disregard what I said. It is no longer a point of interest now. From Software is Dark Souls and stuff. Okay. I never remember. There we go. Look at that beautiful color there. Nice and toasty. But now here is the weird thing when it comes to making a good grilled cheese. Of course, you know, the most important thing about the grilled cheese is cheese, right? There is a small little thing you can do to make sure that your cheese is melty. There we go. I'm gonna steam the cheese. But not yet. But that is what I'm going to do to make this grilled cheese. And honestly, but now, maybe it's not too late. No herbs. I would love to throw herbs in a grilled cheese. Throwing that in a grilled cheese just feels a little much.
feels a little unnecessary. But I would like some mozzarella. Mozzarella in a grilled cheese is always nice. Gives the stretchiness, a very nicely did stretchiness. But it's already starting to melt, so I gotta be careful. It's like putting it to bed away, putting it back in its covers. Okay, good night, mozzarella. Sleep well. Jeez, I am so weird. And good night to mozzarella. Jeez, I need a hobby. Tucking it in its melty sheets. But yeah, the mozzarella cheese is gonna add the nice stretch. I like Munster cheese, so that's why I added Munster. I don't know what else I would add personally to it. Okay, the bottom is actually getting nice. So this is where another flip, and this is where I get a little water lid, just a little bit. And essentially steam the bread. Which is really weird because it kind of almost like makes the crust too soft, but like it's worth it because it gets the cheese melted. And the thing about the crust is that you can always crispen it up again. But yeah, I want that stuff to be melty. Oh, Bush. Unrelated but related. So, are you still interested in me playing a From Software game? I have been thinking more and more about trying to play like Elden Ring or Dark Souls or Sekiro Die Twice or whatever the hell that game's called. Been thinking about it more and more as it comes around. Yes, okay. I'm not saying I will. I'm not gonna try. I don't want to give you hope because I don't want to give you false hope because I still might not play it because I'm broke. But I have been thinking about it more and more. Like, oh, I kind of would like to possibly maybe give it a shot. Armored Core. Top is nice and soft, but I don't want soft, I want crispy. And now, I'll let that do its thing now. The cheese is at least melting a little bit more, but I think I need to add more water actually. Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna melt it. Is it from Software's earliest from like 1997? I wouldn't know. You're asking the wrong person about From Software. I know nothing really, and I don't really know much about their games. I've never even played any of their games either, so... There's a person in chat, you're truly your Bush. He knows a lot about From Software. He's a real weeb when it comes to that game, if you will. Oh, Titanic, thank you for subscribing, thank you. Crispy, it's ready to go. Alright. Looks good enough for me. Alright. It does look like it's melted very nicely. Okay. I'm currently hyperfixating on Metabots, though, at the moment. Metabots. I haven't heard of that game before. is a game from an anime franchise. Honestly, what is it nowadays? I feel like a lot of games kind of are like that now, no? Maybe not so much the anime and such, but there's a lot of games that are like that now. That glass breaking sound is alarming when cooking. What glass breaking sound? Akiro is supposedly the hardest one to master, and I have killed the final boss many times. So what you're telling me, Bush, is that you're a real gamer, but you're also not a gamer enough to play Minecraft? Is that what you're telling me, Bush? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're a gamer, but not a full-on gamer. Not a real gamer. Yes! Hey, I mean, at least you can admit it. And you know what? You should take pride in that. Something that most people cannot say. Alright, I just wanted my soup hot. Okay, I just thought of something really stupid, and I want your guys' take on this because I feel like this would be an extremely dangerous but funny stream to do. I don't know how I would set it up, because I'm not very technical when it would come to something like this. But I just thought about it. What if I do a cooking stream, but I have like a taser, not a taser, but like I have like a shock bracelet around like my wrist or something, and like, you can shock me as I'm cooking? Is that a stupid idea? I feel like that might be a stupid idea, but like a funny stupid idea, if you will. Alright. Stupid idea? Yes. Alright. Sounds about right. Alright, well, let's see. Is there an adequate cheese stretch? There is no cheese stretch. I've never been so disappointed and upset in my entire life. And I hope you all were to slander me right now, because that was kind of upsetting. I'm too lazy to fix it though. I'm hungry. We all know you're supposed to get burns, not shocked. Okay, so instead of shocking myself, I'll like cauterize like a chatter's name on my wrist or something. That sound better? That just makes me sad. It's not very melty, but I'm too lazy to fix it now. Alright, well, I'm just gonna sit down here and have one little bite. Actually, before I do that, I should take a picture. Oh, stupid self. Stupid, dumb idiot. God damn, I'm so dumb. Here we go. Actually, you know what? I am going to move to the desktop at this point. Give me a sec. Okay. Okay. I've had similar grilled cheese moments, but I didn't care. Yeah, kind of the same thing right now for me as well. Like, it's upsetting. I would like a proper cheese stretch and whatnot. That would be a lot nicer than what I have right now. But it is what it is. Gotta deal with what you get, really, right? Okay, there we go. Really quickly, let me post a picture on the board. Post this on. Not on you. I'm not gonna post something on you. That would just be kind of rude. Not really a great picture either, but like, listen. I hunger. I crave the system, food. There we go. Yeah. That is the soup. Hey Assault, how's it going? What soup are you making? I am making 3 soups. I'm just finishing the 1 soup right now. I made a tomato bisque. And I also making a chanterelle mushrooms soup and a bourguignon. So, get a lot of soup. Fortunately, those 2 soups are not going to be done for a while. So I'm actually just going to eat this right now. And I think we're going to end up stream. Something so guilty about having a grilled cheese. Just because it's so unhealthy. Especially on top of it being brioche. Then dipping it in like a cream-filled tomato sauce. It feels so wrong, but it tastes so right. Okie doke. Let's see here. I think we're gonna end up today's stream. I think that will be the thing of things to do. Yeah, I didn't want to do a long stream again, and I'm already on track to doing a very long stream again. So let's try and not do that today, yeah? I'm gonna end stream right now. So, yeah, let's see if we can raid into someone. Let's see who is online that we could possibly raid into. You know what? I think we can raid into Fenari. I think I'd be fine with doing that. It's so over. You're so right. Stream is so over. I'm sorry. Pomp, you always come in at like last minute. My god, you had 2 hours. 2 hours. No, that's alright. Don't worry. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna send you guys on Twitch side. I'm gonna go send you guys to Miss Fenari. On YouTube side, I think. Let me see. Can I send you guys anywhere? Mint my. I'll send you to her, so I'll send you there for now. Yeah, I think that's the plan for tonight now. Sorry, was it a D&D sesh? Oh, then that takes priority versus a silly Vtuber stream about soup. That's a lot more important. D&D, I've done D&D before. That it takes so much more priority, so I understand. But thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you guys had a fun time just vibing with me. I'm gonna go eat this lovely grilled cheese, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, and or evening. And yeah, have fun with Miss Fenari. Use the raid message if you'd like. And yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day or whatever time zone you're a part of. Kichee, everyone, and ciao, bye bye. Ah, wah wah wah.